You know, we ain't gonna die. Yeah. Is this? Oh, it started already. Oops. Hi. Hang on, I'm back on chat. It's loading. So TPD got your links up. I had it. Now I lost it. Unser Productions. I made you a mod so you can put. There it is. So you guys can put your links up. Don't do anything to get me in trouble and get this thing killed. TPD, what's up, buddy? What's up, guys? Boy, you guys had a house full for your live stream. It was like a crazy Thanksgiving Day. Gotta kill that. What is it? Really, dude? In a Mercedes. Every single day somebody goes over that thing. That's the third time. There is a 12-foot island right there. 12 feet. It's got grass and stuff in the middle of it. And that's the third time in an hour I've seen a car come into this parking lot and drive over it. And this lady's in a $100,000 Mercedes. If you can't drive, get rid of the car. Wow. Okay. So we got a couple people rolling in. TPD's here. Tara's mix-ups here. Is that the beautiful woman that's in charge of those two knuckleheads? Is that what I heard today? Because I had no idea that Tara's mix-ups was Tara from TPD. But see, now I've got to go and I have to watch every one of Tara's videos and I have to give her a thumbs up and I have to say nice things. I had no idea, guys. So Tara's mix-up is TPD's. She's part of TPD. She's the brain beauty of TPD, but she has her own channel, which I didn't know. Chef and More is live according to my announcements, but sorry, Chef. So Pam's here, AJ's here. So yeah, go snatch up Tara's mix-ups. You all know her just as Theme Park Days. And if anybody has any extra Weight Watchers points you can throw Tara's way this week, she can have more than one cup of coffee. That would be great. I don't have a clue why she's doing all that stuff, but there you go. Hey, Kel, gave you a shout out in my latest vlog. Well, see, that means that I have to go watch it. Not because you shouted me out, but because you told me you have a new video in chat. Anybody that has a new video, all you have to do is say so in chat. When I read through the chat, I see you got one. I go watch, thumbs up, comment. So remember, give me a thumbs down on this video, please. It is the most important thing that you can do on any of my streams, any of my videos. It costs you nothing to click that button. And I don't want to have to beg for it. So, what is Tara's Mix-Ups channel about? I found out about it. And I'm not feeling that well today, so I've just been kind of, I still got my headphones on. I've been kind of chilling for the last couple hours, listening to a little bit of music, watching a couple of videos, getting caught up. I had to go watch some of Snowman stuff. I didn't have to, I got to. So Tara, what is your channel about? A little of everything, judging by the name, possibly. I don't get it, Pam. Like, it's the one free thing that you can do on anybody's video is to hit a thumb button, and it's the one thing that people won't do. Maybe they don't want to give a thumbs down because they don't want to be rude, but then they don't want to give a thumbs up either. And another truck just drove over that 12-foot median full of grass. Good job. I could make a freaking video just sitting in this parking lot watching car after car drive over this median. And it's tall. It's not like it's short. It's got grass in it. I don't know how these people miss it. until they drive over it. Let's see. Tara says jet skis, friends being silly, my dad's band, curves, etc. Not very cool. One thumbs down hit. I mean, it's I go live every day. A lot of people go live every day. A lot of people putting up videos, and it just seems strange to me, like that they won't hit that button, which costs them nothing. I don't know. I don't get it. But I guess if I could figure that out, I probably would know everything I need to know about YouTube. I don't know. Maybe about people. I only have a few vids so far. Well, get to work now. You can't come out and say I have a channel and I'm trying to be on YouTube and show how awesome I am. Then only put like 6 videos on there. So they did a live stream a few hours ago. I think I'm not really with it today, and like they live in a YouTube community or something, because they showed the camera around the living room and literally everybody on the couch had a channel. It was great. So either they're really bored in England and everybody starts a YouTube channel, or it's a YouTube community. I don't know. One of them I was gonna look up, but there was too many underscores in the name. It was like 4 or 5 words in the name, and you had to put an underscore between each one of them, and then there was capital letters. And I'm just like, no. Easy to remember, easy to spell, but I'm probably already subscribed to them anyway. Let's see. Jackie's here. Liam here. How you doing? How you doing? Liam, what did I miss? In your YouTube app, under your settings, little tools should be able to just enjoy doing videos and making movies since I was a kid. Did you have one of those like great big video cameras like this that you had to hold with both hands and a crane to make videos? Or are you younger than us and you had like video cameras that are this big? That's it. Yep. Fun in the Sun or something like that. Yep. It's not like the underscore button is easy to find, and I say the word underscore and people are like, what the hell is that? And you try to tell them it's that little underline thingy. I don't even look for stuff like that. I'm sure that people think that they're being creative with their names or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to the general public, your name should be easy to spell, easy to remember. And all I remember out of that is it's 4 or 5 underscores. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be critical of people. I'm just trying to help people understand why they're probably not getting as much done as they should be, because they can't figure these things out. So it is what it is. I'm really exhausted today. I have not woke up. I didn't sleep very well, and I didn't sleep very much. Some of you know that Padme from Padme's Hauntings came over yesterday. She drove 150 miles round trip to be here. And we ended up in not 1, not 2, but 3 cemeteries and an abandoned building, thanks to the snowman. And Snowman, I saw your video. I know you're not here right now, but I know you'll watch this later. I saw the video of the house on Sly previously when you first put it out, and I didn't realize that, but I had already commented on that video. Hey, what's up, Austin and Camilla? But I rewatched it considering that Padme and I went into that house yesterday to do some filming, and it looks a bit different than it did when you went in there just a few weeks ago. But you're going to have to wait for that video. I may send you a copy of it, though, to hook us up with the coordinates and the address of the house. So everybody else has to wait till October for my 31 days of Halloween. Fun in the Sun is my sister's. I'll get her to change it so no underscores. Tara, it's just when people go to search for something, they have enough trouble remembering what they had for breakfast this morning, let alone trying to, like, it's one thing to replace with a Z. That happens to be a pretty easy one. I use that myself. But when people go to spell something out and they have to remember symbols and what's capitalized and what's not and how to fill everything out, by the time they check for 10 minutes to try the channel and can't find it, they'll just give up because something else on the screen will catch their attention and they're like, oh, I want to watch that instead. It just makes things difficult, and it makes things difficult for you to grow. I've just given up on all the names that come to me, and well, it's Dunkin' Donuts, but you spell donuts with a P, and there's a Z at the end, and then there's two X's. One's a big one and one's a small one, and then a question mark, and like it gets to be too difficult. And I'm joking around. I've actually been subscribed to that channel since you guys told me about it a couple of months ago. But unless it shows up in my notifications, I'm not even over there because trying to remember it, it's not easy to remember. It's not easy to spell. So it's like I tell everybody else, easy to remember, easy to spell, brand yourself. Even if you make up a word, brand yourself. When Internet Movie Database first came out, nobody knew who that was. And now everybody just goes IMDb. And if you can't remember the letters, you Internet Movie Database. I mean, you make it at least memorable and easy to spell. So yeah, there's my snowman, the Cobra roll. Hey, what's up, Craig? As you can see, I'm out of it. I'm not even having viable thoughts here. TPD, Theme Park Days. Just put up some drone footage of Chernobyl. And they are going to Chernobyl. It's probably going to be a month or so before they can get over there. But they do have a pool going. They're trying to do some Halloween stuff. And all three of those wonderful people, Rob, Liam, and Tara, work their butts off full time, do all kinds of stuff. And they're just trying to raise a couple extra bucks to get into some extra stuff because over in Europe, they charge extra for everything. Which makes sense because their theme park tickets are a lot cheaper than they are in America, but they get you on the other side. So they have, there it is, a PayPal me pool link. Vivid Sins, who I've not seen in a few days, has a very small pool going on. It seems to me that I've become the shout out channel for everyone's fundraiser. So Vivid, if you're here, let me know. Orange Cone's vlog, what's going on? What's going on? Is Husky here? I see somebody talking to Husky. How are you? How are you? Your dog is jealous and demanding, and I love that dog, and I want to adopt her. She's great. I was watching your video from earlier today. Liam Willis, thanks, Craig. Thanks, Orange Cone Vlog, means a lot. AJ's here. How are you? Mr. Unser Productions. I do not personally know. That's a Patreon account. So just like mine, I have a Patreon account. I have a couple of sponsors that make monthly pledges to me, and you get private, personal content that is nowhere else on the internet. So for those of you that don't know what a Patreon is, if you enjoy who you follow or you support them or you like what they do, you can become a monthly pledge and you get exclusive content. So Unser has a PayPal, and I have allowed them to put the Patreon link here. I think everybody in here has Twitter. I see a few names that I'm not used to seeing, but everybody here has Twitter. So snatch everybody up on Twitter. Austin and Kamisha says, I have a dog you can adopt, even though Kamisha will kill me. What kind of dog is it, Austin? I might think about it. I'm thinking about getting a little buddy to travel with me. She's good doggy and not up for adoption. Well, then you'll have to adopt me so I can hang out with her all the time. How about that? That I know, Jackie. The dog is great. I love her to death. It's. I want to say, Keisha. Please remind me, Husky, of the doggy's name. I'm always calling her, and I'm always calling her Husky dog, but it's Keisha or something along those lines. Yeah, Keisha. Okay, I want to make sure. AJ says I'm doing good. Okay, thankfully, because when I glanced across that, it looked like you said you're not doing good, and we were about to like all have a moment of prayer. So I'm glad you're doing all right. We don't have to do that. Full-blooded pit bull. See, Austin, I've had two dogs in my life. One was a Doberman and one was a pit, and I loved them both equally. But the Dobie's such a huge dog uh, that I think this time around, if I am going to get a traveling companion, I would want it to be a pit. I know that they have bad reputations, but pits are awesome dogs. My only concern would be as I'm traveling the country for the foreseeable future, if someone were to get scared, a stranger at a truck stop or wherever I might go, would get afraid that there's a killer dog in the van. And I don't know. I'm just definitely not getting a Chihuahua or a teacup poodle or a Labradoodle or anything like that. Although I saw the coolest thing the other day. I was walking into Target and there was a girl in front of me had what looked like a robot suit on. It was a backpack, but it looked like a robot suit and had a window in the middle like a washing machine. And I couldn't figure out quite what it was. So there was a guy walking next to me and I pointed it at her and I was like, what is that? And he went, animal. And then the next thing I know, a cat's face popped up in that glass bubble window and was looking out the window. And I thought, what did I miss? At what point did we decide to make backpack carriers for our animals so that we could take them into the store with us because you thought they were going to be too lonely at home while you ran to grab some soda or something? Like, is this a new fad? Have y'all seen this? I feel like Jerry Seinfeld. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Let's see. A great way around that is to get them as certified help. Yeah, I think most people are just walking their dogs in everywhere and they don't even bother to get them certified for helper dogs or put the little patches on them or anything. I mean, I walked into Walmart the other day and a dude was just walking his dog through the Walmart. No service dog, no nothing like that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't mind that so much as long as I'm not walking through like feces or something. It used to be that you could only take your dogs into the pet stores, and now everybody's taking them everywhere. Go to the Home Depot, and there's dogs on every freaking aisle. And it doesn't bother me. I just have not seen the backpack thing where the little girls are carrying their little animals in backpacks around. Being in a closed backpack, walking through a store is more entertaining than being left home alone, I guess. Maybe they get lonely. See you, Orange. Appreciate you coming in. Kids are great and loving pups. Best disposition on a dog. I've known a few people that have had pits over the years. My favorite was a female they called Pumpkin, but I love pumpkins. But she had this orangish brown fur to her, and just loving dog. I mean, protective if something went weird, but wasn't barking at every noise, and just loving. I think she thought she was a lap dog. And I love the pit. So if I don't get one to travel with, I'm probably going to get one when I get back here and get settled. because I don't think anybody else wants to hang out with me, so I better get a dog or I'm going to be really lonely. Yeah, I've seen them. Okay, so Husky's seen these wonderful pet carrier backpack jobs. Loving the neighbors have a couple. They are great. I have a 12-year-old, 100-pound red nose named Gixxer. He's been a sweetheart his whole life, white hair, and I'm over it. That's the one thing I don't like about animals is that they shed everywhere. I'll never get anything with long hair. I mean, that's why I've had a Doberman and a Pit, very short hair. And I trained both of them not to get on the furniture. I mean, they had their own bed and they could go around the house, but don't get up on the couch, don't get on my bed. I don't want to be laying down in dog fur. I don't know. So Tara went to get cereal. How many points is that on Weight Watchers, Tara? Not that I think you need to lose any weight. In fact, you could probably gain 20 pounds. You're a little thin. So I have to mess with you with the Weight Watchers thing because I heard you say that during the video earlier. And I'm like, really? You're worried about some coffee or some tea? James, hey, Black's here. How you doing, Black Voltaic? I haven't pulled up your page in a couple of days. I want to see how you're doing. I haven't been. It's difficult doing live streams every single day. It's difficult doing videos every day. And I have been beat. Plus, I'm getting sick. You got 109. Good for you. I am coming down with it's official. And if it's coming on this slow over the course of 4 or 5 days, it's probably going to last a few weeks. But I realized that I didn't do a live stream the night before last. And then yesterday, Padme came out and we started at like 12:30, 1 p.m. And the next thing I know, it was turning into an all-night cemetery challenge. And it was a really long day. And that's why I wanted to go live at least for a few minutes last night. But it is difficult doing this every single day, and I'm filming for 31 days of Halloween. So I got that stuff going on. Just life in general. I'm just kind of beat down right now. Yesterday was, in my opinion, and I don't know if Padme's here, but hey, there's Vivid. In my opinion, yesterday was a great success. South Cac Redneck is back. How are you? James Guype's back in the house. Animated Adventures, how you doing? You need to keep yourself well. It was like you guys are saying, it's hot one minute, then cold the next. And so whenever that happens, everybody's body gets a little wonky. I'm beat down. I'm dehydrated, even though I shouldn't be. I've got the air conditioning on right now because I just couldn't do without it. And then, of course, in the last 10 days or so, I've been in 2 abandoned places that were full of mold. I'm not sleeping that well. It's a combination of a lot of things. And Rob changed R1. Do I have to do it online? Wait, what? I didn't know that you had one too, Liam. Rob changed R1. Do I have to do it online? I don't see what you're asking, Liam. But okay. Queen Adunny is here. How are you? How are you? Welcome. There's a name I haven't seen. Vivid Sins. There's Vivid Sins. I was talking about her a few minutes ago. I knew she'd be in. She does have a small PayPal pool. And Vivid, I did not make you a mod before. But I'm going to do it now. If it'll pull up. It won't let me pull it up. Why won't it let me pull it up? Everything's working fine. Vivid, it won't let me pull up your name. What the hell, Bobby? All right, let me refresh this. Vivid, I'm going to make you a mod, and then you can put the link to your pool up. I believe she's trying to get a piece of equipment for her brother. She told me about it the other day. We only spoke about it briefly. The chat is refreshing because I can't click on anything, it won't work. So yesterday, Padme got here about 12:30. We spent the first few minutes. She was uploading the video that she'd finished editing, and then we kind of made a plan on what we were going to do. We ended up going to a place called Oaklawn Cemetery, which is the oldest cemetery in Tampa, founded in 1842. Yeah, I'm way behind. Whatever reason, my chat got stuck. So, Vivid, say something else so I can pull your name up and make you a mod. Oh, there. Here we go. Hang on. I got you. Excuse me. There you go, Vivid. You're a mod now, so you can put your pool link up. So we went to that cemetery, and it wasn't very big. Maybe, I don't know, an acre, maybe 2 acres. It wasn't very big, but it was founded in 1842, and there's some really old stuff in there. And we stayed in there for about an hour until the lawn service people showed up, and we were going to wait it out, but there was a big crew and a lot to do, and it was only an hour before they locked the gates. So we went ahead and left there. And Padme had never done an Urban X video. For those of you that don't know what that is, you can go to Snowman's channel or TPD. It stands for Urban Explorer, which just means that you go into old buildings, rotten, abandoned places, and film so that people can see what it's like to go in those places. And I think that she got a bit of a wake-up call because the place was smelling horribly of mold. It was hot. The floors were rotten. And it's almost, and I even said it to her, like, don't ever meet your heroes, not meaning me, but when you dream about doing something for a long time and then the reality doesn't match what you've had in your mind, that was a bit of a wake-up call. But she did enjoy herself. She got some video there. Then we went to another cemetery, which was supposed to be open 24 hours, and they changed their policy, so they were closing. So we ended up at a third cemetery, which we dealt with 4 different police officers, and some runaways had run through there, some teenage runaways. And cops were searching the cemetery, and that was all before we got started. And I don't know whose idea it was to do an overnight at the cemetery. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but one of us said it and the other one said great, and the other one said great, and the next thing I know, we moved the mobile studio to a safe spot where I could leave it overnight and grab some tools and equipment, and ended up back at that cemetery where we stayed until 3:30 in the morning. And after we dealt with the cops, which the cops were great, they weren't there for us. Every cop after cop told us that it was fine for us to be there, that they didn't have any issue with it. We started doing spirit box sessions. There was one point for a few hours while we were there, we were being followed by the spirit of a little girl in a blue dress. We had spirits talking to us and giving us their names, only to find out that we didn't look at the graves. We walked around in the dark, and we just kind of went wherever we felt led, and we set up the spirit box, and then we would ask who was here and get names. And then at that point, I would turn on my torch and walk around and see if any of the stones close by had that name on it. And on more than one occasion, that's exactly what happened. Within a few feet of us we would find a stone with that name on it that we just heard several times through the box. And one little boy, his name was Stevie, he led us right to his grave. It was a lot of kids. There was a lot of stuff going on, and it was really action-packed from about 11 p.m. to about 2:30. And then around 3 o'clock, when we thought things, it's supposed to be the witching hour, things started to slow down. And then about 3:30, we both realized we felt like we'd been run over by a truck. I mean, I don't know so much about her, but my whole body hurt. I was sore. I was weak. There was one point where it was draining our equipment, and then I felt like it drained us. And by 3:30, everything had pretty much slowed down, and I just looked at her and said, I don't have any more energy. We got to go. So we ended up going back to where I had parked the mobile studio, and of course, I laid down to crash, and she did the same thing. She didn't even drive anywhere. She slept in her car for a few hours before she drove home another 75 miles or whatever it was. I've gotten one message from her today because I think she's feeling the same as me. I've not been able to wake up. I can't really focus my eyes. I can't really focus my thoughts. Pam called it a spiritual hangover. Disney Boffins is here. How are you? How are you? Black's got Slots. Slots is back. I haven't looked there. We got Ricky Foster. How you doing? Everybody snatch up. Everybody. South Cat Lisa. Miss Sassy's back. I almost have 325. Well, let's get you to almost 375, Miss Sassy. So yeah, we got a lot of footage last night. We had a lot of action go on at the cemetery. Both alive and not so alive. And there's a lot of video to go through and edit together. And for whatever reason today, I don't know what it is. I'm having trouble keeping my thoughts together. I'm not able to wake up. I had to turn on the air conditioning for a few minutes to get a break. And honestly, when I'm done with this live stream, I'm probably going to go to bed. It's 7 o'clock here. It'll be dark in another half hour. And I'm probably going to get some sleep. Hey, Raishu G is here. Raishu J is here. My bad. Miss Sassy, you got a few new people this week, didn't you? Well, think of a hangover. Felt just like that after. Yeah. And I mean, there was so much going on. It could be just a lot of it, just being old and straight walking for 14 hours. It's kind of like going to a theme park. By the end of the day, you're just beat. And we started a little after noon. So, I mean, we were at it for 12, 30, 15 hours straight running. And the excitement and everything that was going on and being led around and hearing names and finding them on the stones and the police. And I think by the time things just started to slow down, maybe part of it was just I realized how tired I really was. Because, your brain says you're still 10 years old and you can run and jump and climb mountains and swim over oceans, and your body's going, no, it doesn't work that way anymore, bud. You didn't get a nap. It's hotter than anything out here. There was some strange stuff going on where there was like 2 trees inside the cemetery in 2 different spots. And at about 2 o'clock in the morning, the birds were chirping in just those trees. And you don't tend to hear birds chirping at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that was kind of strange. I mean, there was just a lot of weird things going on. Got a lot of newer subscribers. That's good, Miss Sassy. We got some new names in here tonight, so make sure you get them up. For all the new people that have been in here, public service announcements. Please give me a thumbs down on this video. For those of you that don't know, a thumbs down is exactly the same as a thumbs up in the YouTube algorithm. It does not mean that I have a bad video. It means that you interacted with me. And that is the most important thing you can do on any video you watch on YouTube, is hit that thumb button. I don't care which one you hit. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So hit one every single time you watch a video. If you're networking and you go to check out a channel that you do not have, it's all wonderful that you hit that red button and become a family member. But if you do not watch a video and you do not leave a comment, within 12 to 24 hours, YouTube will mark you as spam. It will remove you to that channel. And if you do it enough times, they will put limitations on your channel because you are spamming people. They will start with video limitations. They will start with upload procedures, and you can actually lose your channel for spamming. They have gotten smart, and they will find out. So if you think you're networking, that's the reason why when you come to a networking stream and you say, well, I went there and I got 12 new subscribers. And then the next day you say, well, I got 12, but I lost 9 of them. It's because YouTube is taking them away. So don't get yourself into trouble. Also, by leaving a comment, you are advertising for yourself, because a lot of people go to videos and the first thing they do is stroll through the comments to see if anybody else thought the video sucked. When they see your name over and over every time they go to see a video somewhere, they say, well, I see that name all the time. Maybe I'll go check out their channel. The human brain has to see something 26 times to remember it, so you are advertising for yourself every time you leave a comment. And you're telling the person who created that video who you are. Because if you hit that red button, most of the time, we do not get that notification. When you're a brand new channel and you're not doing much with it, yes, you might get those notifications, you got a new subscriber. But by the time you're leaving comments and your own videos and everything else, those do not come through. So if you go hit the red button on my channel, that's a wonderful thing. But guess what? I'm not going to know you did it. I'm not going to get that notification. So if you don't leave a comment on one of my videos, I don't know who you are. If you do, I'm going to in turn check out your channel if I haven't already, and I might hit that button for you. So be sure to follow the rules. If you're going to do it, don't do it for nothing. Don't sit and listen to me talk. That's a waste of your time. Go and network, but do it right. Watch enough of a video to count as a watch, leave a comment, or be removed and be spammed. That's not my rule, and you might not like to hear those words, but it's the truth, and that's what YouTube is doing. So I saw that Husky lost a couple, but like I always say, Husky, the ones that stay, stay forever, and the ones that don't make room for the ones that will stay. So we still get a few empty subs, absolutely. Everyone does. There's some people out there that just think numbers are important. I have to get this many subscribers, and I have to get this and I have to get that, or I'm not going to be anywhere. One of the first things people ask me when they find out you have a YouTube channel, oh, how many subscribers do you have? And I always say the same thing. I don't know, 1,000, something like that. I don't care. Because it seems to me that it's a badge of honor the more subscribers you have. But if you go to the channels that have a ton of subscribers, some of these channels have 2 million subscribers and their videos are only getting watched by about 150,000 people. So the subscriber count obviously doesn't mean much. It's the video content that does. But there are some people out there who think the numbers matter, and they will sub to you so that you'll return the favor, and then they'll undo it later. And remember that karma will take care of those. Those are the people that aren't going to get anywhere because they're so worried about their numbers instead of their content that their channel's going to fail. So, yeah, you might have 5,800 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers, but you're not making videos anymore because you weren't getting any watch time. So let those people come and go, and don't let them bother you at all. Husky, you just keep doing what you're doing, and you keep showing me your pup so I don't have to come and kidnap her or move in. I don't think your husband would like that. All right, so Unser's got his Patreon up again. Liam is saying hi to people. Ben Ritt, you back. How you doing? Exactly. Theme park subscribers watch your videos. Paul Stone. That's right. And like I said, that red button is a nice thing, but it don't mean jack. It don't. That's why I don't care how many subscribers I have. I broke 1,500 last week, but I don't think I've gotten 5 since then. And I don't think I got 20 for the 2 weeks before that. That's why I don't ask anybody to hit that button. You don't see my videos where I go, please give me this and hit that button and ring my bell so you don't miss a thing. You know what? I don't know a single person that really worries too much about that. If they like your stuff, they're going to watch your stuff. They're going to remember your name. Why? Because it's easy to remember and easy to spell. And the more of your videos they watch, the more of your videos will show up on their main YouTube page. So I don't care if you don't ring that red button. I do care if you don't give me a thumbs down. That bothers me. But if you're going to do it and you're going to grow, these are all things you're going to learn, and you're going to figure out what works for you, and you're going to figure out what makes you feel good on your channel. And when you feel good, your content's going to be good, and that's what is important. I'd so love to kidnap one of those adorable pups. I'll tell you what, speaking of pups and then animals, I saw this really weird friggin' cat today. Like to get in the kitchen sink and drink from a running faucet like it had never had a drink in its life. I don't know what kind of cat it was. They even said what it was. TPD, what kind of cat is that? Tara? I've never seen a cat climb into a sink with running water and just stand there and drink out of the faucet. Just kidding, distance-wise, law-wise, I can't kidnap a puppy. I'm pretty sure she is. She's loyal. Oh, that dog's never gonna leave her side. There ain't no two ways. That dog's not going nowhere. Time to go eat dinner. Hey, Mac, how are you? How are you? Thanks for coming in. You guys know I'll go back and read the chat afterwards, so if I missed what you said, I won't miss it for too long. Remember to watch your own videos. After you post a video, you count as watch time. One time, 100%. So whenever I run a video, I go back and watch it in full, even if I don't pay attention to it, because I hate watching myself. In the case of my live streams, I do, though, and I read the chat. So if I see something I missed, I'll know what it is. If you tell me you have a new video, I'll go watch it. If you're new to my networking streams, I'll go and check out your channel, and I'll let you know I was there, because not only will I ring that red button, but I'll give you a thumbs up and I'll leave a comment so you'll know I was there. There was someone who left harsh comments on a video I posted a while ago that is about paganism and Catholicism. What I find on YouTube is that it's the same as being in a bar or any other public space. As a bouncer for 25 years or more, when you go to a bar, you don't talk about politics or religion. That's a very dangerous thing. Dangerous physically when you're in a bar situation. So all I could say is that if you choose to speak about those kinds of things on your channel, you have to realize that there are people that have very strong opposite beliefs, and keyboard warriors are going to leave comments. What I find very easy on my channel is if someone does leave a negative comment, and I get them once in a while, block them, remove the comment. You don't need to worry or defend yourself or waste a minute of your time thinking that someone didn't like what you had to say. Block them, remove the comment. You can block them easily. There's 4 ways to block someone from your YouTube channel, 4 different routes to go through. It's very easy to do. If you're getting trolled by someone, block them. Don't give them a second chance. Don't try and fight them and get your point of view across to them, because think about it. If somebody tried to change your mind about what you believe, how effective is that going to be? So you trying to type back to someone who doesn't like what you had to say, a couple of sentences is definitely not going to change their mind. You don't need them as a subscriber. You don't need their watch time. Plus, you keep their watch time even if you block them. They've already given you the watch time. So just block them, delete the comment, move on with your life. Because you're going to have haters. We're all going to have haters. You can't. An audience, like I said, last week I posted a video about the Area 51 thing. I got 22,000 views. And in fact, I'm still getting views every hour. I looked at the analytics today. I can't believe I'm still getting views on it. You can't have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watching your videos and expect that every single one of them is going to agree with everything you say and love you to death and tell you how beautiful you are, and they never thought of it your way, and they've converted. It doesn't work that way. There's not a single person out there that's in the public view that doesn't have haters. That's why there is a term called hate mail. And you don't need to spend your time defending yourself to someone who's going to fight you tooth and nail and go down swinging, and you're not going to change anything. So don't worry about the haters. Block them. Get rid of the comments. And move on to the people that actually want to watch your stuff because they find you interesting or they find your point of view challenging to them. You talk about some controversial stuff. Some of your vids, which were live streams that I watched after the fact, you have a different way of thinking than mainstream. I'll give you that. I have an open mind, and I can watch through a video and take the things that are interesting to me out of it, and the rest I just kind of let go. And not everybody can do that. So you have to understand that if you're going to bring religion or politics or anything controversial into your videos, you're definitely going to have trolls. Don't let them bother you. If Howard Stern let every troll he ever had bother him, we wouldn't know who Howard Stern is or anyone else you can think of. See you, Husky. Or is that Jackie leaving? Husky says she'll be around. Go with Kel. How's the bed working out? The bed is working out great. I was able to, I don't know if you can see that. I was able to build a frame, and I got some containers for underneath of it, and I got a 2-inch memory for $39, but it's got to be returned for 2 reasons. One, it's not it's not going to last very long. It already has splits and stuff in it, and 2, I really need $40 for gas. So at least I have the platform, and that was cheap. That was like $18 because I found some old pallets, and I was able to use some of the wood from that, and I had a coupon, and so the bed frame is great, and it's really taken a lot of the clutter out of here. And there's other things that I'm going to be doing here as I can, and it's nice, except that it's got me raised up that high now, so you can look right through the windshield and see my old behind sleeping. So I got to get a curtain to go across here, and it's a work in progress. Let's see. So Miss Sassy and all right, love me, leave me. Bye, Felicia. You got that right, Pam. You don't like me, doesn't hurt my feelings. Still gonna be me. That's all you can be, South Cac. And like I've said in previous live streams, it's kind of like dating. And I don't know about you guys, but there's 2 kinds of women in this world. There's women who absolutely adore me, and women who absolutely hate me from the very first time they put their eyes on me and won't give me the time of day. That's my dating life. There is no in between. It's never like I've known someone for a few years and we've developed feelings over time. No. And if I meet a woman that does like me, she wants to go from 0 to 60 in 2.2 days. So being in the public eye, having a YouTube channel where anyone can watch your show, and that's how they think about it. They're watching TV shows. They're watching TV channels. You're going to find that people love you or people hate you. And the ones that hate you, they can go kick rocks because there's 106 million other channels they can watch. And the ones that love you, they're going to love you for who you are. They're going to love you for how you look, how you talk, what you talk about, where you go, what you do, how you walk. It doesn't matter. They're going to love you for you. Oh, my ear just popped. I've got a ringing in my right ear. That's strange. I'm not moving, so it's not like I'm going up a hill or there was a different pressure, but I don't know, maybe we got a storm coming. My ear just popped. But all you guys need to remember, no matter what, is to be you. Make videos, be you. The ones that are going to like you, they're going to stay. And the ones that aren't, they're going to have forgotten about you an hour after they left your channel. You're going to get people that love to hate. Thankfully, I haven't found any yet for myself, which is crazy to me because that video that I put out last Friday that I got 22,000 hits on, I didn't get a single negative comment. I only got like 360 thumbs up and I got like 12 thumbs down or something. But out of all the comments even left by the 22,000 people that actually came by and looked at that video, I didn't get a single person that had anything negative to say. They talked about the video, they talked about the newscaster, they talked about the craziness of the Area 51 raid, but I didn't have a single person that said a negative thing to me, and I was genuinely surprised about that. I was expecting all kinds of feedback that wasn't good. But if you're yourself, you're not having to pretend to be you're not, and we all know from relationships, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, job, church, anything you're involved in, softball games, if you're trying to be something you're not, you can't keep up that act for very long. And if you're in YouTube because you think you're going to be an overnight success by being something you're not, I got news for you. It's not going to happen. You're in this for the long haul. So you have to be yourself. I appreciated Disney Boffins. Absolutely. I feel neutral towards it. That's exactly how I want you to feel, Vivid. Neutral. By the way, you said you went shopping last night. You said you went to the costume store again. Did you get any cool vid from there? You're an awesome guy. You'll find the right one. Oh, I'm not worried about the right woman. I've got 2 ex-wives and many ex-girlfriends that think I'm so I am very happy being single and I have no problem getting a dog. I go out, I have fun, I meet people all the time. I don't ever worry about that. If the right chick comes along and knocks me off my feet with a baseball bat and drags me back to her house, well, I guess I'll know. But in the meantime, I'll give an example of how happy I am to be single. I built that bed from scratch, and I built it. I could have built it queen size. I could have built it king size. I don't need the room for anything else. I built it single size because it's only me that's going to be on it for probably the entire trip. I'm not worried about adding somebody new, and if somebody comes along and wants to do some traveling with me or whatever, I'll build a bigger bed. But I ain't worried about that at all. Wish my ear would pop. It's been blocked for about 7 hours. I don't usually have that kind of issue, Liam. And that's why it was so weird that it popped. I'm not moving. I'm sat still. Aside from going to get gas a little bit ago, I've been sat still all day because I haven't felt well at all. I didn't do anything physical today. I was supposed to do some stuff to the van to get ready to leave. And I have no idea what would cause my ear to pop. I was hearing just fine. It wasn't like I was getting an echo or some kind of muffled sound out of it. There was no reason for it to pop. So that was kind of weird. Yes, you must be yourself. Way to go, Kel. That's kidnapping. I hope nobody's kidnapping anybody. In case the feds need to use this live stream for a Senate hearing, I do not condone kidnapping of animals, nor people, nor anything live. Kidnapping of things that aren't live is considered theft, and I don't condone that either. I am not part of anything they're talking about over there. I don't even know those people. They just came in here, and I don't know them. So, okay. Vivid said I didn't go to Halloween Spirit Store again. I went to Goodwill. Isn't that the same thing? Oh, well, no. In the Goodwill, it's the shoppers that look like the scary ones. Where in the Halloween store, it's the costumes. Looking for ideas to make. Uh-oh, I lost it. Halloween costumes. I'm going to be sewing up this time. Oh, very cool. You're going to make your own. Make a little video about it so we can see how you do it. Problem with my ears. It's already cold. That's probably what it is. I am coming down with a cold. I've got the scratchy throat. Last night, my nose was filling my sinuses with wonderfulness. I got a little cough medicine earlier today, and I figured by tomorrow it's probably going to be worse, and I don't know how bad it's going to get. But that's probably what it is now that you mention it. It's like the saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. Yeah, that's very true, AJ. But one more, that's like the one thing, though. That's the one saying that makes sense across everything in the world to me, except actually books. Because I'm always the guy that if I'm looking for a book to read, I always just look at the cover. I read the back of it, what anybody had to say about it. The New York Times says thumbs up. Siskel and Ebert said no way. And then I look at the picture on the front and I read the title and I go, this sounds interesting. It's not like I open it up and read a chapter in the middle of the book and go, you know what? I'm glad I didn't look at the cover because this book is cool. Everything else in my life, that's exactly the way you do it. It's a person, you get to know them a little bit before you make a decision. It's a TV program, you turn it on and you watch it for 5 minutes before you go, wow, the title said Dunkin' Donuts, but it's a show about ghosts. Like, I'm glad I didn't go by the title. But a book is the one thing I actually choose by the cover. So I don't know if that would be ironic. Is that irony? You said she would drag you back to her house. Yeah, she'd have to beat me she'd have to beat me over the head with a bat to drag me back to her house. 'Cause I'm that dude that's like, yep, you're cool, and I had a lot of good time hanging out with you, but I'm gonna go home and watch TV and get in my bed, and no, I don't need anybody to cuddle with me because you're like a friggin' heater. I have six pillows on my bed, and I'm good. Like, I don't do that. I don't do the overnight thing at people's houses too much. So she'd have to drag me back to her house. Do you know how hard it is to be bi? Most people think I'm straight up gay. Other people say that I'm a cheater for liking both. I never catch a break, but it don't bother me anymore. I'm proud. That's all you can be, Black will take. It's proud. Ultimately, you're not going through anything that the rest of us haven't gone through, except for all the hate you get for it. We all go through that with everything in our lives. We have to figure out who we are. We have to figure out what we like, what we want, what we do. In my opinion, in the case of being bi, I could see how it would be scary to others. You're either straight up lesbian or you're straight up heterosexual or you're into jet planes or whatever you're into. And I think, well, if you can't make up your mind and then somebody else comes along, like, I'm a dude and you like both. So I'm a dude, and if you like me, but then a girl comes along and she has something I don't have, then they get jealous, like you're going to leave. It's their insecurities about things. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, a lot of people that do go both ways tend to kind of pinball around when they're younger in life. So there's a lot of stigmatism involved in it, but you just keep being you. That's what's important. And try not to hurt anybody along the way. And if everybody lived by that, we'd all be better. Hit me with a baseball bat. That's right. It's going to take something big to get through to this noggin before you can drive me back to your house. It's going to have to be like a bat or, I don't know, an SUV, maybe a tree. I don't know. Because I'm not that easy. Sorry for the rant. No, don't be sorry for the rant, Black. You're going through a lot, and you're a teenager on top of that. You're twisted and torn up right now, and we've all been through it. Don't be sorry for the rant. Everybody needs somebody to talk to and vent to. So there's no problem there, and I already see other people. The chat just went nuts, but I see other people saying don't apologize for it. I'm not exactly sure what pansexual means. I'm still trying to figure out things that are missing. Like, I just recently found out what a furry is, which isn't a sexual orientation per se. It's a belief and a way of living your life. But I don't really have a lot to say about that because I'm not sure exactly what it is yet. But let's not turn this stream into that kind of thing right now, because remember, the ultimate of my channel is to raise money for children and families in need, and sooner or later, everybody's going to be crawling up my butt with a microscope, and I don't want them to be able to go through and say, well, then this shouldn't be there, that shouldn't be. That's why I'm not going to be smoking on streams anymore. So let's not go into that kind of thing in an open stream. Please. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody on Twitter. I can do a private live stream where you can only come by invite so that we can actually have this kind of a discussion without being open to the general public. Just so that when they do start crashing down on me about what's going on and how I do things, I don't want to give anybody anything to use against me. And it's terrible that they would do such a thing, but that's why I don't talk about religion. I don't talk about sexual orientation. There's just certain things that I can't talk about in my videos. Actually, I could have a live stream on my backup channel and we could talk about anything you want, because that's just a disposable channel. And I'm more than happy to learn about all this stuff. And I know somebody actually wrote what it is and I missed it. But again, I will watch this when it's over. Okay. Right on. So it's more of an open than buy kind of thing. It's just like, I don't really care what you are or what you were born as, what you associate with. It doesn't matter. You're just attracted to people as people. So I'm all about that. That's not a bad thing. I mean, none of it's a bad thing by any means. And Miss Sassy, you got a couple of years on Black Voltaic. I want to say she's about 16 or 17 because she's just about to get her license. She was asking about how crazy it was or scary it was to drive. So again, from time to time we have kids come into the streams, and I just don't want to get into any kind of issue either now or in the future where people are saying, wait a minute, you raise money and you do this and you do that and you can't do this or you shouldn't have done that, and stuff coming back at me later. So we can definitely talk about this anytime. We can schedule stuff. I can do a live on my backup. I can do a private situation. I'm more than happy because I'm always looking to learn every single day. Don't know how that got that. Yeah, I'm not sure how we got to that. No, I do know because Black Voltaic needed to vent. She must be going through some serious issues right now. And we all remember what it was like when we were in our high teens. And I must have said something and she just felt like she needed to vent for a second. And then I talked about that. And then we kind of moved into that direction. That's why I kind of said, well, let's kind of get back over here. I will not talk about religion whatsoever on my streams or in my videos. I'm happy to talk to anybody about religion. I have no problem with that, but I'm not going to do it on my streams. And if people, want to put their own religious thoughts into the streams, then I unfortunately have to block people and remove comments. It's going to have to be the same way with any type of orientation subjects, only because, anything that comes off of this channel, once it's monetized and once I get sponsors and more Patreon monthly pledgers, you have to leave certain things out. Religion and politics and sexual orientation has to be left out when you are, because it's the weirdest thing. If you just want to live your life and do anything you want to, nobody cares what you think or how you feel, and you can talk about anything you want. But God forbid you actually want to give money out of your paycheck to a deserving family or get a group of people together that want to see you do good by strangers. And then everybody says, well, you want to do these great things, but then you can't say that. You can't talk about this. And they make you feel like you're a worse person because you're actually a human being who just says, I'm not going to apologize for who I am because I'm helping people. But that's, society's gotten a little twisted that way. So it is what it is. I didn't think you were that old, Vivid. I honestly didn't think you were 24, but very cool. I'm guessing that Miss Sassy said how old she was, but I didn't catch that. Again, I will go through this when I'm finished. And we're going to get back on track here. That's how it got brought up. Miss Sassy had said she had a video that she was getting trolls on. And the topics of the video were religion and politics. So that's how it got started. TP putting up their link every 5 minutes like they are. What's the word? See, what's the word I'm looking for? Like there's a timer or something. House production list, blah, blah, blah. All donations, yes, they will. And some of your donations are going to go to an airline ticket so that I can come to England. No, I'm just joking. Of course, that's not the case. Good news, Barry. Me too. Nearly over the flu. That's awesome, Jackie. I'm glad that you're almost done with the flu because I feel sorry for me and the other people who are just now walking into the flu. That sucks. And the Pines is here. How are you? Thanks to the Pines. I keep telling you guys, every day I ask you to do the thumbs, and I keep telling you how important it is. I go to In the Pines page every single day. And I've asked you guys one thing. I want to go to their page one day and see their latest video got more than 4 views. And every night on my live stream, I keep hearing you guys say, hey, In the Pines, I got you, I got you. But every day I go to In the Pines and they have 4 views on a video. So somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do. And I promise you, not only will YouTube start spamming you, start marking you as spam, but there's no way that people are watching In the Pines videos because they're not even getting 10 views. So please, check them out, watch their videos, leave a comment. I'm kind of taking them under my wing a little bit, I guess, because I really like what they do. And they're very supportive people on Twitter. I see comments on my videos. They're in every day, my live streams. And every day I find myself going to their page and finding out that they have 6 views on this, 7 views on this. They have 130 some subscribers, and every night somebody's knocking on their door. But you're making me look bad and you're making yourself look bad if you're not actually viewing videos. And spam will get you in trouble. So all public service announcements are over. We talked about last night for those of you. Dang it. No, that's still good. Bunch of Spirit Box while we were there. And we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of great video with a lot of action inside the cemetery. So you guys are going to want to see that, but you got to wait until October because I'm not posting those till October. However, I do have like a 3-minute that I think I might post on YouTube today or tomorrow of the cemetery we were at during the day. Just because the video came off pretty well. And I may put that up there as sort of a teaser. I'm also going to be taking some of the video that Padme got last night because we used her camera to do the Spirit Box sessions in the dark because she has a higher capability than mine. You know what? In the Pines, I would love to see your videos getting 20 or 30 hits. In the phone, I have seen at least 15 people knock on your door and tell you that they knocked on your door. And yet, every day I go to your channel and I still see that you're at 6 views. You should be in the 20s. You should be in the 30s by now. And I don't know why it bothers me, remember, and because when I watch your videos, your kids make me laugh. And the love that you guys have for each other just, I don't know, it kind of touches me. So I guess if you were getting 130 views and it should be 145 or something, I probably wouldn't notice so much. But you're getting less than 10 views and you've gotten 15 new crew members in the last week alone. If you are just looking for numbers by knocking on doors, I want to weed those people out because that's not what we're here for. There are plenty of other networking streams that you can go to and get empty numbers. I don't like to see it. But ultimately, I'm the one that's going to have to live with it because there's nothing I can do about it. And you guys are all at my streams and you're supporting me. So I'm not going to like everything that goes on. All I can say is that I do notice. I notice when I go to Vivid's channel. I notice when I go to Pam's channel. I notice when I go to Padme's. When I go to 20 other channels, I notice exactly what's going on. But I'm an analytical guy. My second wife said that I remember everything like I'm preparing for her parole hearing. But that's always how I've been, and that's why I've been able to grow the way I've grown, and I've only been doing this YouTube thing for 8 months. and really only doing it for 6. And for the last 2, I've been more worried about my content than anything else. I'm not growing on Twitter because I choose not to worry about that. I've got almost 5,000 followers, and that's good enough. I'm not growing my numbers on YouTube because I have over 1,000 and I'm good. Now I'm worried about watch time. Now I'm making those experiments where I can get 22,000 views on a video. And that's what I'm working on right now. You guys will see it soon. I am working on a different animal, a different video, and it's taken a lot of research. It's going to take a lot of editing. And I'm hoping that when it goes live, I'll get 30 or 40,000 views. In the meantime, I still will stream every day, hoping to get the numbers up in here. I'm thankful that there's been 17 to 20 people in here from the start, where last week we were only getting 10 to 12 people. So clearly everybody's learning. I pretty much go live every day at the same time, so it's pretty easy to remember. All these things get taken into consideration, and they actually keep me going. It's almost like I'm on a regular schedule. I wake up, I know how much time I can take before I have to start answering all my messages on Twitter, because everybody kind of knows what my sleep schedule is. They know pretty much when I go to bed, when I wake up. And then when I wake up, I usually take about 30 minutes for myself before I do anything, so that I can get a little liquid and wash my face and kind of wake up. And then I start answering all my private messages on Twitter. And I go through that for a little while. Then I do a little bit of research. Then I spend a few hours doing some online surveys for 60 cents an hour. Then I get ready to go live. And in the meantime, Craig's going live earlier than me. TPD's going live. Padme's going live. So I try to catch up with all the regulars in their live streams while I'm doing my online surveys, so I can make a little gas money. I kind of have my day down to a schedule, and it works out really well. But then when a day like yesterday comes where a fellow YouTuber will come to meet me, and Padme is the 3rd YouTuber that I've met to do videos together. The first one was Brian and Amanda. We were at Busch Gardens. Snowman, Padme's the 3rd, and I've got 10 people in mind for the next month or 2. So when those days come along, that's kind of like the schedule's thrown out the window. This is not an everyday thing, so let's just put everything we have into this. And like I said, yesterday we spent 15 hours at 3 cemeteries in an abandoned building. And throughout the course of the day, all we had to eat was a sandwich from the Wawa and some cheese and crackers, because we just took full advantage of what we had yesterday. So today has been, I feel like crap. I'm coming down with the flu, but I'm still doing. I still went to Theme Park Days live stream today. I still went to the Cobra Rules live stream today. I still went to Vivid Sin's page today. I still went to In the Pines. I still went to half a dozen other channels that I check on every day. I still got ready for my live stream. And I really do feel like I've been run over by a truck. That's why I made that little video. I got so many DMs this morning saying I really wasn't on yesterday, and they were wondering how I was doing. So I was like, you know what? I'll just make a quick video, and that way I can answer like 100 people at the same time. And I think when I looked, it was like 7 people watched it. So I try and be more effective with my time. Thanks, Miss Sassy. I appreciate you as always. I'm sure you're gone already. Didn't want comment taken wrong way. As I said, I don't know what you mean, Pam. I didn't see anything you said wrong. And in your DMs, I didn't see anything that you came off wrong with. There's something that you said that I said back that you took what I said the wrong way. But you didn't say anything wrong. I was more worried yesterday because normally you're around all the time. And yesterday you were like, I'm leaving the live stream. And I figured you were sick in some way and you just didn't want to say so. And that's what I meant by that. Are you okay? And then you told me you had a bad migraine, and I understood. But I think there was a little miscommunication. You didn't say anything you needed to apologize for. in any way, shape, or form. I try to get thumbs up or comment. We all help each other out. That's community. That's exactly right. In the Pines. In the Pines, I'm watching your vid in the background. See, that's what I want to see, Black Voltaic. I've said this from, I think, the second time that I've seen Black Voltaic. First of all, she's a really cool kid. Second of all, since she has come into our community, she is not only here with us every day, she's not only trying to live her life in Scotland and do all the things that she has to do, especially as a young person. She's got all this stuff going on, and yet she still takes the time to be here to talk to everybody. She's taking up the mantle of pulling up in the Pines videos. She really is. Maybe she didn't know before, but she's understanding what community means, and she takes that upon herself, and that's what I like to see. Honestly, if I lived that long, I'd love to still know her 20 years from now, because she just gets in there and she does and she does and she grows and she does. And she's going to be successful, not just on the computer or in YouTube, but in life, because she goes that extra mile. She takes everything that's shoveled on her and she still has a positive attitude. She's still learning every day. And I hope that never changes, because she's cool people. Soon TBD will collaborate with Kel as soon as possible. TPD, whether I'm over there or you're over here, or we have to do it via satellite, we need to absolutely. Jordy made a comment I removed. Okay, well, if you felt you needed to remove it, then that's fine with me. That's what you're here for. I don't know what that comment was, and I really don't need to know. If you think it was bad and it needed to be removed, then it needed to be removed. And that's all I've got to say about that. Mama says that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to be that abandoned theme park near you with crocodiles. Y'all are just killing me. I did watch. I went back after that night. Actually, I went back and looked at Six Flags in New Orleans. And a lot of the swampy stuff that had been there dried up, and it actually wasn't too bad to go through, at least for the people that went and did the videos. So I have a feeling that if I can get the dosh together to get out of here by this weekend, when I make it over in New Orleans in the next week or two, however long it takes me to get there, I am going to take some time to go to Flags, the abandoned theme park over there. And at least during the daytime, get a little bit of footage, because I haven't seen it in a few years. But it still looks doable. Like I can get in there safely without too many gators and snakes. Playlists definitely help. I haven't made that public service announcement in a while. Y'all know when you go to YouTube and you watch a video, you have that what's up next that YouTube suggests you watch. And it's always some big channel. If you put your videos into a playlist, whenever someone does watch your video, if they're just letting it play on autoplay and they're letting whatever the next thing come up, you're always going to be next. So take your videos and put them in playlists. Never leave a video alone. And I usually go back about once a week and add that last week's videos into some other playlist, just for that reason. I'm sure the last 3 or 4 days worth of videos, the live streams that I've done, are not in list yet, but usually on the weekends I take a few minutes and I go through and check, and then I put all the new videos into some playlist, because it does help and it gets your views up on other videos, because a lot of people leave their stuff on autoplay. All right, Liam's leaving. See you later. Tara's still here. Only saw Six Flags Louisiana from the Big Rig. All right. I've been down the highway post Katrina. I actually went to Six Flags Louisiana pre-Katrina. But I drove down the highway after Katrina, when I lived there after Katrina. and actually parked on the side of the road and looked at it through the fence, which was eerie and creepy in itself, but it was still all swampy. And I didn't have a YouTube channel, and I didn't have people interested in Urban X videos and stuff like that. So this time I think I'm definitely going to go in. I might have to scout it out for a day and figure the best way to go in there and see what kind of security and dogs and whatever else they have. But I'm definitely going to make a stop there because it's only about 15 minutes outside of the French Quarter. The French Quarter is connected to a town called Slidell by the Twin Spans, and I lived in Slidell outside of the five boroughs, and it's only like a 15 or a 20-minute drive to the old Six Flags Park, and it's on the highway, so it's pretty easy to get to. What can we do? What we can do is use the drone to find a safe route. Oh, absolutely. I was looking at drones in Best Buy yesterday. Padme and I went to Best Buy to look at the light bar that she was trying to get her hands on. And while we were waiting for the salesperson to get unbusy to help her out, I was checking out the drones. Well, there's a couple thousand you could spend real quick, but they'd be real good to have. And if y'all come over here, you better bring the drone. Because there's 1,000 places over here in this country that if you could film, like the Chernobyl stuff that you put on your channel, there are places here that you can't get into, highly secured areas, but that you could fly a drone through if you're good enough with your drone, that you could get some amazing stuff. I can't remember the name of the channel I was watching, but somebody took a drone to the Grand Canyon and was flying the drone down into the canyon and checking out all kinds of stuff. And they found some caves to fly into that were in the side of the, that huge wall. And there's all kinds of stuff to do with drones in this country. And I'm thinking that, one day when I have the money for a good one with a camera system and stabilization and, they're probably going to be $1,000, but I probably will eventually get into doing drone stuff because there's just so much that you can do with a drone. All right, South Cac, I appreciate you coming in. Lisa's here. Laura Kathy's here. I'm just spouting nonsense again. American Wanderer's back. Where are you at these days? I know you were on a trip through Maryland and stuff. Did you get back down home yet, American Wanderer? Barry TRC Turner's back. So y'all are saying hi to y'all, and I'm just spouting nonsense again. I think I could probably turn this off. Let's see, this is charged. So I can turn that off. I also found out what was killing my battery. I had a bad inverter. These cheap inverters are not meant to be used 15 hours a day. They are emergency use. I mean, it's like $12 at Walmart. They're emergency use. They're once in a while use. And I pretty much burned this thing up to the point where it wasn't even reading the charger in the new Chromebook. And what it was doing was drawing all the power out of my battery, and that's why I killed my battery. So it was this I had to pay more attention to. So I got that fixed, and I got the house battery. So I think I pretty much have everything under control here power-wise. And now I'm just really more careful about how and when I charge things and monitor everything to make sure that I don't have issues in the future. Because those are just really dumb issues to have. They're just really silly issues to deal with. So make sure you go over and check out the Snowman's channel. How you doing? And show some love over there. I know TPD and a few other people have been putting links to Patreon and PayPal. I have a cold weather pool in the comment section that I started over a week ago that I've really only mentioned once. I don't have any winter clothes. There's a few things I have to do to the van to get it winterized and ready for cold weather. So I threw it together. My link's in the description. whatever comes in will go into the van, and the rest I'll get making surveys and doing work however I can. So it's there. Did you do the Camelot footage yourself, TPD, with your drone? Because I remember you had some drone footage. You got together with another YouTuber, and he was a drone person, and that's how you got your drone. You decided you wanted to do that. Make sure when using a drone, you're in drone safe place. Last year I was in Belgium and got a fight. Jeez. Wow. I mean, I assume that kind of stuff would happen if you try to fly it into like an airport, restricted airspace. Obviously, you're not going to fly a drone in Disney World, places like that. But wow, I never really thought about that. Yeah, you get a huge fine for using drones in certain places. But again, I guess it's like anything else. When you get into something new, you kind of need to learn all the aspects of it, or you're going to learn the hard way. So I'm glad you brought that up so that I can keep that in my mind when I do get a drone, as to making sure, just like last night at the cemetery, we made sure we spoke to several different officers in their jurisdiction to make sure that we were allowed to be there, that kind of thing. So yeah, I guess with a drone, you got to keep those things in mind too. Well, good. Close to 500. There we go. Almost halfway. And I missed, I'll go back and read the chat afterward. I missed if you're back home yet. American Wanderer. Barry's talking to Cobra Roll. Craig, y'all are supposed to be asleep, man. I know you guys are hitting Thorpe tomorrow. Is that right? I know you're hitting the theme park. I thought you said Thorpe. It's where the Pepsi Max big one is. But I know you guys are heading to the park in a few hours, and it's already, 1 a.m. over there? So you better get some sleep, buddy. No, gone forever. Yeah, I would think once the authorities take your drone away and give you a fine like that, I don't think they're going to give it back. The fine was way worse than the cost of the drone. Okay, very cool. That's one from your drone. You guys should take the drone back to that abandoned mansion that Rob went to, so that you could fly it up through the second floor of that place and get some footage of that, and then up over the roof to get it from above. That footage. I know, at Thorpe, but not going for 6 hours. Yeah, but you're going to be there all day, and you have a drive to get there and a drive home. You can't be like Ethan and fall asleep in the back seat. Although that would be more like Bean if you tried to sleep in the car while you were driving to Thorpe Park. That'd be funny. Work and darts competition tomorrow, so can't go to Thorpe Maze preview. Okay. I didn't know you played darts competitively, man. I play darts occasionally when I'm at a bar, but I'm that guy that when I'm counting them up, I go, who threw this one? I'm no good at it, that's for sure. You got room for me? Barry wants to go to Thorpe tomorrow. And I'm going to offend the heck out of every English person that ever comes to view any of my videos. Do you actually consider darts a sport? I'm just curious. Like, there's a lot of sports in this country I don't consider sport. Are darts considered a sport, or would it be just a competition? Because a competition is not necessarily a sport. You could have a video game competition, and that's not a sport. So I always wondered about that. And I personally, and y'all are going to hate me, but I don't consider golf a sport. Anything you can drive around on a golf cart and stand up long enough to whack a ball, just because you keep score and it takes a little skill doesn't mean it's a sport. But, I feel that way about a lot of things. I don't think hunting is a sport either. I know they're huge, and I didn't mean that it wasn't a huge competition, and everybody in many countries loves the competition and loves the game of darts in any way, whichever game you want to play. But is it a sport? Does it fall under the category? Because to me, a sport is when you have to, you have to train your body and you have to be in good physical condition, and there's, the possibility of, I mean, that's like saying I broke my arm when I was playing chess. Like, chess isn't a sport; it's a competition. It's a game. It's mental, and you have to be smart, and you have to think ahead, and you have to strategize. But I wouldn't consider chess a sport. I don't know. Darts is a competition. So all right, Barry says he considers it a sport. I'm not disagreeing. I guess I'm just asking for people's opinion on that. Monopoly is a competition against others, but that's not a sport either. There you go, Craig. I guess to me, if it's a sport, there has to be. Well, with darts though, most of the time they drink a lot of lager, so they are conditioning their body in some way. It just seems to me that there has to be more to it to call it an actual sport. Like, and this is really bad. They have the Rochambeau, I don't even know what you'd call it, championships. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. You know what I mean? And they do that. And the prize, and this is on an ESPN channel, the prize is $50,000 to the winner of Rochambeau. I don't see that as a sport. I see that as a waste of ESPN's precious time most of the time. But the rock, paper, scissors championship pays 50 grand. And I don't consider that a sport, but it's on a sporting network. People bet on it, so I guess that's part of it being a sport. In the Pine says, I guess anything you have to train for competitively could be a sport. Okay. Tara says definitely not a sport. It takes a lot of effort to, as Liam says, to play darts for the time they do. And it takes a lot of hand-eye coordination. I'm not doubting the skill set, and I'm not doubting the time that it takes to play darts any more than to play Monopoly or Risk or chess or rock, paper, scissors. But it just never, those things don't come off to me as a sport. They come off to me as, I don't know. I don't know. A competition, sport is outside and training. Okay, well, there's a different view. Sport, Tara says sports outside. I don't know about that, because we have, again, in this country and in many other places, we have the loggers conventions and the loggers competitions where they two people take a great big saw and they cut a log, and the thinner the log, the more points they get, and they take an axe and they chop down a tree. But is that a sport though? There's a lot of physical training involved. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of practice. But is that a sport? Or is that what you do when you need firewood on a cold night? Like, I don't understand all this stuff. It's probably more of a philosophical thing to go, well, what is a sport and what isn't a sport? I guess anything you could put two people or many people in competition with each other and grade it somehow. And I don't know. See you, TPD. I know it's late over there, guys. It's like saying dominoes is a sport. Okay, Tar. But dominoes in which way? Are we talking about the game, the bones, where you actually take the dominoes and you play? Because over here you can either you stack them down numbers to numbers. They also play it kind of like poker over here. You play bones, and then you also have the dominoes where you stand them up and make designs, and then flick it, and they all fall and make this beautiful design. Because I've literally seen competitions for all three of those dominoes games. So I don't know. Muscle memory is the hardest thing as you have to constantly remind your muscles of where you're throwing. I'm constantly training. Tara, you have indoor football, badminton, there's indoors, and dancing. Okay. Pool or snooker, inside sports, basketball, tennis. I don't consider pool to be a sport either. And I used to be a pool hustler. I play all over the world. I play. I'm pretty good at playing pool, but I don't consider that a sport. I don't know. I don't know what. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I have to decide what a sport means to me. There's definitely training involved, and not everyone can do it. And there's a lot involved in pool. And you have to have raw talent, and you have to have self control, and you have to muscle memory, and you have to practice. And there's so much involved in pool, but I don't consider a game that you play at a bar when you're drunk to get some girl to flash you a sport. I don't know. I don't know where I think a sport fits in. I don't know. When I think of sports, I think of football, whether it's British, we call it soccer, whether it's football like we call it over here, baseball, basketball, hockey. I consider those sports. I don't consider pool and darts and dominoes and Monopoly and Go Fish. I don't consider them sports. Well, dancing takes a lot of physical conditioning. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of finesse. It takes hand-eye coordination. It takes balance. And anything that you can do. Well, there you go. Okay, anything that you can do that will get a woman's attention, and we'll say it that way to be nice, that could be considered a sport. I mean, it's more like outdoors, not something you can do standing still in the pub. Okay, so the pub game thing. So it's just about muscle memory. Then you could make. Well, that's true too. That's true too, Craig. Um, I'm a dancer and I do not consider it a sport. To me, it's more of a talent. Okay. See, these are all good points. And I guess that's why it's so hard for me to decide what I would consider to be a sport and what I don't consider to be a sport. Because I didn't really think about it like that. Like Lisa said, it's more of a talent than a sport or a competition, although they make dancing into competitions. And, but that's a talent. But don't you have to have talent to play chess or to play pool or to play darts? I mean, those things require talent too. And not always in pubs, like floor tournaments not played in pubs. Okay. Dancing is definitely a talent. Absolutely, I agree with that one all day long. American Wanderer, you answered your own question. Not happening unless they make a VR Sims version game where the cards pop out and attack. Okay. I might go to the Olympics after all. Fancy my chances at the gold. That would be in the sport you brought up. Okay. You know what? I'd probably give you a run for your money on that, buddy. Okay, haven't seen the connection yet. So to be a nerd, oh, here we go. We got a definition. To be a nerd, the definition of a sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. Okay, so I think it's more of my thoughts of what is considered to be a sport and what isn't. Because pretty much everything, including dancing, that we've brought up during this stream falls into that definition, including the Rock, Paper, Scissors Championship, which I still can't believe. And I watched that. I was flipping through the channels a couple of years back, and there was a bunch of people standing in the crowd. It looked like that movie Over the Top with Stallone, except they weren't arm wrestling. They were doing rock, paper, scissors. And I thought it was a comedy skit. And I watched it, and then across the bottom on the ticker, it kept saying, you know, we're down to the last four, and the championship is for $50,000. And I found myself watching that stupid thing. And I couldn't believe that people got paid 50 grand to play rock, paper, scissors on. How close are you, American Wanderer? That would be insane. Knock on your door, Playmaster. As long as we don't have to have Southern Death shoot off. No. I think that I would probably in that sport via satellite, maybe. I don't know. I'm no prude, but I think just for the cleanliness aspect, it's not like sweat you can wipe off with a towel. Okay, Playmaster got you back. Tara, good night. Thank you for hanging around. I will check out your channel. Again, I didn't know until today that you had your own, so I'll go over and check that out. I meant to turn this off a while ago, and I gotta put this window back down. There we go. And 2 more seconds, guys. I gotta open these back windows. I gotta use my tool to open the back window because I can reach it with that. And bam. Okay. Whew, it got hot in here all of a sudden. As soon as you turn off the air conditioner, man. There's no breeze. All right. So Tara's out of here. Liam knocked on your door. So yeah, all right. Well, I guess I have a lot to think about as far as what a sport is. And now that I know the actual definition, these are the things I ponder in my life. I feel like George Carlin sometimes. I think about all the things I think about and how much time I actually waste trying to think about them. So, oh, Lisa's bringing up another one. Is this a debate or a discussion? Because a debate, it seems to me like you have two opposite points of views and somebody has to be a winner, where a discussion means that you can agree to disagree and it's just about point of view. No, I'm just messing with you, honestly. I know exactly what you meant and I had to mess with you. I'm not going to do that every time somebody brings up something else. That totally just popped into my head and I felt like I needed to make a joke about it. As there is a lot in here. You could call it. Whoa, Craig's tired, man. Craig is tired. He gets punchy when he's tired. That was a good play on words, though, buddy. And I'm glad that nobody will come in here and eyeball this chat. That was good, man. That was quick. You got like a little sarcasm of the day calendar at home? A mass debate. Let's see. Okay, this should be a poll on all of your... Well, how would I write that up as a poll, though, Liam? I mean, I come up with silly polls. I still can't believe that I haven't gotten more answers than do you eat what do you eat on your French fries? Got over 800 views, 800 votes. But if I put up something that actually makes people think, I'll get like 67 votes. But I don't even know how I would put that into a poll. Because there's a lot in here, yeah. You're fine, and I love a good laugh. Well, I hope you got a good laugh out of it, Lisa, because I was just busting your onions. Craig is killing me every time he gets tired, man. You got to remember, Craig's over in England, same as TPD. So Liam, TPD, Tara, they're all from the same channel. But a lot of people, including Blackwell Takes over in Scotland, they're 5-6 hours ahead of us. So if it's 8 o'clock here in Florida, it's 1 o'clock over there. We had some people earlier that were from I don't even remember what country they were, and they were at Craig's live stream earlier, and they were joking around because it was the next day for them. The sun was already back up, and so we get different time zones going on. So it's late in the morning for Craig, and he's taking his boys, or at least one of his sons, to Thorpe Park tomorrow. And you could just tell when Craig hasn't gotten a lot of sleep because he's a funny guy. Is darts, pool, dominoes, sport, or something like that? Okay. Yeah. Because now that Twitter has expanded the amount of characters that you can use, I can probably put together quite a little list. Darts, pool, chess, Monopoly. Yeah, I can come up with a little list and then see. And the thing about pools like that is that I'll give 4 answers, and then I'll always get like 137 comments that go, well, you didn't include this as an answer. And I go, well, that's what the comment section is for. So I'm glad you brought that up. So it's crazy that there's no straight answer across the board for people. They always have to put in their 2 cents about what it is and bring this part up. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing polls, because I get so many point of views on something. Is beer pong a sport? Beer pong is something, I don't even know. I was going to say something about it, but the last I heard, aren't they bringing that into the Olympics? Beer pong?
Explosion on it.
When I was a kid, beer pong was something stupid we did at parties. And now, I don't know. I don't call it a sport in any way, shape, or form. No, not to me. Because if there's a sport out there that you get better at, the more drunk you get, that's not talent, that's luck. And that's a game that they have come up with that pretty much any monkey can play. So, no, I don't think you need talent to play beer pong. I don't consider that a sport. Not me. Liam says he'd call it a sport. No, it's not. It's just an activity. Well, an activity. There's no real point system. So it is an activity. It's a game, and there's an outcome, and it is competition, and there's a winner and a loser. And usually the winner is the guy that comes up and turns the table over and grabs the girl by her hand and says, "Come on, leave these guys alone. You're coming with me." So it's usually the guy that's not even playing the game that's the big winner. See you in the Pines. Thanks for coming through. Fran got something rejected. I'm not sure what she put. But appreciate it in the Pines. So yeah, okay. It might be interesting too, because if I get enough votes on something like that, I'll get enough points of view, and then I'll really be confused about what people think is a sport and isn't a sport. Next thing we'll see is the American wax off, where people wax the hair off their body, and the competition would be who can do it the fastest and how smooth is the skin afterwards. I don't like dog shows, the Westminster Dog Show and all that stuff. Those are all wonderful things, but I don't consider that to be a sport. It's a competition, but it's not a sport, and there's training involved, and there's a lot involved, and you have to use your brain, and you have to know how to take care of the dogs and get their best food, and there's a lot of things involved in it. But I don't, yes, wax on, wax off. I don't consider dog shows to be sporting events, but the people involved in those events consider that to be a sport. Did you find anything in the cemetery? We actually got a lot of activity in the cemetery, Fran. We got a lot of voices on the spirit box that led us to certain graves, and we also were at certain graves where we got names and details across the spirit box. And then when we looked at the stones that were right around us, we found those names and details on those stones. So the video, when we edit out all the boring stuff, the videos that go up are actually going to be pretty interesting, I think. And it was quite a weird night. So yeah, I would say there was a lot of stuff going on. I have shot Pong. That's almost impossible. Wait, what? They have that game, Liam. It's played with a coin and a glass. Oh, you mean quarters? Well, we call it quarters here. Where you bounce the quarter off and it has to land in the shot glass. That actually, I have my own thoughts on that. That doesn't take a skill. That's more of a trick. And once you figure out how to do it, you can pretty much do it from anywhere. Now, talking about trick shots where they're banging stuff off of the wall and doing all this and still making it land in the shot glass, that takes talent. But the actual game of just bouncing a quarter into a shot glass, once someone shows you the trick on how to do that, it's pretty much, there's no talent left in it. To me, that's more of a trick. Boxing is definitely a sport. It require it. A boxer has to do everything involved that could possibly be called a sport, from physical conditioning, mental conditioning, training, psychological evaluations, and you have to psych out your opponents. I was a boxer, and it's something that literally takes every waking moment and years to develop, and you have to have natural talent. If you don't have any natural talent, you're screwed. And if your body, is no good, you're screwed. Boxing is a sport in every way, as far as I'm concerned. I box and I consider it a sport. I do too, Black, but many just think it's a way to punch people. Okay, I get that people have a problem with those sport being violent. I understand that. And in today's safety conscious world, nothing can be violent. If they could take football and turn it into a game that you play in a motorized reclining chair with pillows, they would do it. And they're trying to do it. But as far as I'm concerned, the sport of boxing, and don't even get me started on this mixed martial arts stuff, but the sport of boxing takes and makes you a perfect athlete, because not only does your body have to be toned and conditioned, but your mind has to match it. And then you have a true sport where your mind has to be so conditioned against the pain and against your fight or flight mechanism in your mind. You not only have to train yourself, but you also have to have that within you to be able to take a beating like that and still continue on, and not use that out that the human mind comes up with, is to say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm out. This is something I can't win. It's truly mind over matter, but your body has to be perfect. You have to be conditioned. It really does create not the perfect warrior, but the perfect human being that can use their mind and body in conjunction and not give up. You have to have heart, you have to have mind, you have to have body, you have to have everything there is. So it's not about punching someone and getting them to bleed. That's not what boxing is about. Boxing is about making your opponent either give up mentally or their body give up physically for you to win that competition. It's not about how hard I can punch and how much blood I can get. It's not about gore. People watch NASCAR because they want to see the accidents and they want to see all the carnage. Boxing's not about the carnage. Boxing is about a battle between your body and your mind, and your opponent is going through that same battle. They're going through the battle in their own mind about what they're capable of, while facing an opponent that's going through it in their own mind, and they have to be at each other at the same time. Boxing, it's real easy to say, oh, it's just a gory sport where people hit each other. That's just because people don't understand what boxing is. There you go. And punching people isn't the point of boxing. Absolutely not. It's not an issue with violence for me. I believe boxing is an art form. Boxing is definitely an art form as well. My son's just started boxing. Okay. I just say that to people to see their reaction. It's okay for you to question that. It's okay, Black Voltaic, if you believe that boxing is wrong. Nobody in here is going to say that you shouldn't believe what you believe. And if they try, I'll kick them out of the room. But if you can't have an open discussion about something, then what's the point? When it comes to boxing, being a boxer for many years, working in the security area that I worked in, doing the things that I've done, I have very deep-seated thoughts about boxing. But being there, I understand exactly what it takes and what it's about, and the battle is with yourself as much as it is with your opponent. Mental conditioning is key, absolutely. Andy Ruiz Jr. has heart. Body doesn't look conditioned. Yeah, but heart the wrong way, Barry. You know that. Thank you. He's doing good and learned quite a lot. And it's going to be good for his self-esteem, and it's going to be good for his mental conditioning. It's going to be good for um, everything that comes along in his life, because it's going to give him the mental strength to overcome, to have heart. Because we all come in points in everything, whether it's our job, whether it's school, whether it's relationships, where we want to give up and we say, this is too hard. It's not worth working. It's not worth fighting for. Um, Learning to box, learning a lot of sports, learning to overcome, learning to outthink your opponents, it's going to help him in every step of his life. So both of your kids, if they're doing boxing, it's not about violence. Um, it's about so much more than that. I'd happily watch Mayweather fight people say no, it's not boxing, but he truly, in my opinion, mastered what boxing is: hit and not be hit. I would agree with that statement. Lisa's out. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Looks like we're starting to dwindle down to just a few people, and we're about to break 2 hours. So I'm probably going to be ending this in a few minutes anyway. Nah, I love boxing. I just know it's dangerous, and I've gotten hurt in the past. Okay. I agree that things are dangerous in this world. But honestly, there's pretty much nothing on the planet that's not dangerous. I always find it funny to me that up until a few hundred years ago, life itself was dangerous. And now that we've mastered, not mastered, but now that we've come up with all these medical treatments and medications and technology, and we can take the harshness out of life, people seem to think that they want to take that out of every aspect of life. Um, it makes human beings weak, as far as I'm concerned. If you make everything cushy and there's nothing that's going to hurt you in this world, it doesn't give you, because the minute something does pop up and Murphy's law comes into play, and whatever goes will go wrong, can go wrong, will go wrong. Just because humans think that they can condition themselves and make their life easy, the rest of the world, all the animals, nature itself, stuff happens. And by taking all the danger out of everything we do as humans is not preparing us for survival whatsoever. So I'm not one to say take away a sport just because it's violent. I'm one to say, if you can't play the game because you're worried about being afraid, go watch other people play it, because there's always going to be plenty of people out there that are willing to put themselves on the line to play a sport, to play a game, to learn what it takes to be involved. And if that's what they choose to do with their life, that's what they choose to do with their life. Nobody says to a guy on his deathbed, you spent your whole life working at Dunkin' Donuts and you could have done this or you could have done that. That's what he chose to do with his life. If a woman decides to be a mother or the CEO of a Fortune 500 company or a rock star, they can do that. And there's plenty of dangerous stuff in there. There's plenty of things that can hurt you and kill you. Drugs, alcohol, stress. There's danger in every single thing that we choose to do. And if you want to talk about people having the right to live the kind of life that they want to have, they want to live, I think that the people that want to put themselves on the line and play those kinds of sports or do those kinds of things, we shouldn't take it away. We shouldn't keep trying to take the danger out of everything to keep someone else from being hurt. I think that people should just understand what they're getting into, and if they choose to do it, let them do it. I mean, body is conditioned, not an issue. My nephew just likes it because he hits people. He doesn't care about the discipline, and everything can be dangerous. Well, that to me would be up to the person who's training your nephew then. Because, not everybody in this world is meant for everything. Not everybody in this world is meant to pump gas or be the CEO of a company or to be a successful TV star or run a YouTube channel or drive a vehicle or be a chef. Not everybody is meant to do anything they feel like it. You can try it, but if you can't condition yourself and you're not talented enough, You can't do it. It doesn't matter how much you want to do it. So I would think that if he's doing that and whoever's training him sees that and doesn't see a change in him, well, then that would be the responsibility of the trainer to say, you know what, we got to stop this. You don't have the mental discipline for it. Maybe he's just too young. Maybe he's just one of those people that thinks it's cool to hit on other people, and you never know. So, those would be philosophical things. Those would be things that other people have to take into consideration with, this is my story, and this is what I see, and this is what I deal with. There's no one answer that covers everything in the body. It would be your circumstances and your nephew's circumstances. Point being, I once dislocated my knee trying on jeans. I dislocated my knee taking off jeans, but there was a woman and her husband involved, and I was drunk. So, stuff happens. See you, Lisa Falls. Hey, all, still alive. Yeah, Mac. Usually my evening live streams run about 2.5 hours. We're just about a little over 2 hours now. It's amazing between the people coming in the door and how many usually stay in the beginning that they tend to run on average about 2.5 hours. In that time, pretty much topics come up, then they go away, then I run out of things to say, and it starts getting late for people, and it's way late for people over in Europe, and that's usually how it goes. He has been threatened to be removed twice now. I'm not big on threats. I'm that person that says, say what you mean and mean what you say, and unfortunately that makes me hard, and I've been told by many people. But I'm not a person to threaten. I tend to lay out the rules ahead of time. I give everybody one chance to mess up, and I'm talking about in my personal life or anything I'm involved in. I'm not that person that's going to say, you got to stop doing that, and then find myself weeks or months later having said it 8 times and still trying to get them to change their behavior. I cut it off. If it were me, I would have said so the first time, given a chance to fix it. There would have been no second warning. There won't be a third warning. You're not cut out for it. Go away. You can be mad at me. Here's a refund. I don't care what you think, but this isn't how I'm doing it. But I tend to, I've been told I'm too hard on people when it comes to certain things. So people just aren't ready for things. Everybody's a little different. And that's the wonderful thing about being a human being. My knee was due to diseases in the bone. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And I wasn't trying to make light of the fact that you dislocated your knee. So I hope that's not a situation that gets worse as you get older. I was watching some of your other videos, so I didn't realize, but I was just looking back. Oh, no. Hey, anytime you go through, and I tell people all the time, go back through my live streams, go back through anybody's live streams, Craig's, anybody that networks, because you'll catch people in there that you didn't know were in there because they were in there at a different time than you were in. You can listen to what I have to say, but I still can't figure out why people want to listen to me. But you can always network from a stream after the fact. You may miss something where I talked about how to grow your channel or your Twitter, or in this case, probably the most important thing that you missed is we've decided that darts is a sport and that rock, paper, scissors championship should not pay 50 grand. So today we've just been kind of mass debating. Let's see, whose vid's max? Probably mine. And hopefully other people's. I don't want people to go back and watch mine. I'm with you on that one, Kel. Unfortunately, my sister doesn't like me getting involved. Yeah, that's another tough one. Kids have parents, and the parents are the ones that ultimately have the. And sometimes, especially when it's family, if you try to put your 2 cents in on kids that aren't yours, that can cause all kinds of rifts. I'm sitting here yawning my butt off. Gonna go. Well, get out of here and go to sleep. You got a busy day tomorrow. I don't know doing what, but you got a busy day, so go to sleep, Black. Please do, Kel. I laugh at it, and unfortunately, I can't get better, so it will only get worse. If I can't laugh at it, what can I do? If you can't laugh at it, you're gonna cry. So you're doing the right thing, and that's a good attitude to have. Well, I wasn't joking about your knee. I was joking about mine because that really did happen. I was a bit of a dog when I was younger, and I actually hadn't thought about that in a long time, but he did dislocate my right knee. And I knew she was married, so this is what it is. So we are at almost 2:10. I'm going to finish this when I finish this. And honestly, I think I'm going to finish with these too because I'm tired of these things. I say that, and in 2 hours I'll be buying more, but I really want to quit smoking. I really, 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 really do. So I've got to check out now. Need to grab a drink. Right on, buddy. Then sled. Are you going sledding tonight? Oh, sleep. Okay. Thought you were going sledding. I was going to say, wait a minute. I'm in. When I was a kid, I used to go sledding with pizza boxes, but we didn't have any money. Sleep is good. I'm feeling a little bit more awake now that the sun went down, but it's so moist here. I can feel like my whole body's wet from the moisture in the air, and I'm not going to miss this next week when I'm not here. I can go away. I can't take it no more. It's so weird to be sitting in here thinking that I have to find a way to insulate this thing and make sure that the windows are closed and sealed so there's no drafts, because in a week or two I'm going to be up where it's 40, 50 degrees instead of where it's 90 degrees in the middle of the night. And I'm dying for air conditioning. By next week I'm going to be freezing. I've been wanting to stop for a long time, Laura. And it seems like when life is going well, I can get down to just a few a day and I can go several hours. But then even now, I see myself when I go back and watch through my videos, and I'm going, wow, dude, you were only on for 2.5 hours and you had 9 smokes. That's way too much. And I have to stop smoking on the live stream. So that's going to be good for me. At least I'll be able to go for a couple hours without smoking there. I really, really want to quit for the health benefits, for the financial toll. But if I don't put constant thought in it, so it's just like anything else. If you want to change something, you have to think about it 24 hours a day until you make that change. And if I'm not putting constant thought into it, I realize that I just smoked another one. I might sit here for a few hours while I'm editing a video or doing whatever I'm doing because I'm in a holding pattern right now. I don't have the money to travel yet, and I don't have the money to stay here either, so I'm kind of screwed. But I'll get out to stretch my legs for a few minutes, and I'll see like 7 or 8 cigarette butts laying on the ground, and I know they're mine. And that's when I realize, oh man, I smoked too many things today, and I can't run, I can't do things because I lose my breath. I just want to quit. I started smoking New Year's Eve of 1999. It was Y2K, and those of you that are old enough remember what Y2K was. And I was a big drinker. I had been drinking for a couple of years back then, but I was a big drinker, and I went out with my friends for like 3 days straight. And when I say I went out with my friends, when the bars were closed, we went back to one of our houses and drank until the bars opened back up. We didn't sleep. We were drinking for 3 days. And it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve. And I was completely sober. I had drank myself sober. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I was worried about the computers crashing and all this crap. You know, I was young. I was a kid. I was stupid. And It was all over the news, and I said, you know what? I'm not facing the computer crash sober. I don't know what to do, and I don't do drugs. And I was dating a girl at the time, and her name was Kelly also, and she smoked. And I said, you know what? Give me one of them cigarettes. And I took a Marlboro Red from her, and I got about halfway through it, and I fell out of my bar stool, and I woke up in the hospital, and they had to pump my stomach, and I had a chance to talk to the doctor, and I said, I don't know what happened. He said, well, you had so much alcohol in your system that you were poisoned, but the nicotine in the cigarette, your body wasn't used to, and it affected your body to the point where you just passed out from the alcohol. And I said, so cigarettes made me feel drunk? And he said, yeah, because of all the alcohol. And I said, okay. And I left the hospital, and I was fine, and I've been smoking ever since. Now, I quit drinking for the most part about 10 years ago. Max back, how you doing? OCV, how you doing? I quit drinking. I drink maybe twice, 3 times a year, but I quit drinking about 10 years ago. I used to drink 7 days a week, and I haven't been able to let go of this. So people say, well, how long have you been smoking? I've been smoking now for 18 years, 9 months, 26 days, and 23 hours, because it started about 9:30 p.m. and it's 8:30 p.m. now. So I can tell you exactly when I started smoking. And it's the only thing I've never been able to give up. I've given up anything else in my life I ever wanted. There's been nothing I couldn't walk away from, with the exception of my kid. This is the only thing that I can't stop. And I work really hard, and I get down to a few a day, and then something will go on, or I'll quit working on it all day, every day, and I'll find that I'm back up to a pack, sometimes a pack and a half in a day. And right now, there's no way I can afford it. I'm buying these. There's a guy locally that buys huge things of tobacco and the rollers, and he rolls the cigarettes and then sells them cheap. So that's the only reason I'm smoking cigarettes right now. But it's the only thing that I have not been able to just kick. And it's starting to drive me crazy because it's been the better part of 20 years now. And I get winded. And I've had 2 heart attacks, which have nothing to do with smoking. They just cholesterol issues, clogged pipes. But it's the one thing that I can't, so far, I've not been able to kick. And every day that goes by, it's building up and building up and building up to the point where it's going to become a battle, and it's going to be a battle that I'm about to wage. And I've never failed. So I think once that light switch flips in my brain and I say, this is it, it's going to be a battle that I'm going to win. It's going to be the hardest battle I've ever fought, but it's time. You know what I mean? I'm really feeling like every day it's stuck in my brain. It's time to quit. I enjoy smoking. I don't enjoy how I feel when I'm not smoking. I do not enjoy how it makes me smell. I hate that. But the bad just outweighs the good in my life right now. So it's about that time. But that nail in my coffin is over. So this is going to have to be over. Make sure that anybody you knocked on the door, anybody that you subscribe to, that you watch a video and leave a comment. You do not want to go down in YouTube's algorithm as spam. You will get your channel restricted. You will have nothing but problems, and they're getting hard on that stuff. No empty growth. I will be back on tomorrow, as I am every day, at about 6:30 Florida time. If you guys need me, you know how to get me on Twitter. Send me a private message. I will be floating around some of your channels this evening because I always have something playing. I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. You may not be able to tell really because I'm sat in a chair for 2 hours, but I do feel like I've been run over by a truck. And I haven't been sick in a long time, so I don't know how bad it's going to get. But I do my best every day. See you later, buddy. Night Pam, night Mac, night Laura, night OCB, night American Wanderers, night John Boy. Everybody that's come through, I appreciate you guys so much. And one last thing, Again, my PayPal pool is in the description. If you have any interest in helping me get some warm clothes and doing a few things to the truck before I hit cold weather. But I looked at my analytics, and I am only probably after this live stream, I'm probably only about 25 hours of watch time away from breaking another 1,000 hours of watch time and getting closer to my goals. So if you guys want to help out, go back and watch one of the videos of mine that you haven't watched. Let it play through. You don't have to watch it, but let it play through. I'm kind of hoping that by tomorrow I'll break that 1,000-hour watch time mark and then I only have about 1,000 left. So if I can break 3,000 by tomorrow, that'd be awesome. If not, I'm sure I will during tomorrow's live stream, but I appreciate everybody. I would not be here without you, and I appreciate y'all hanging on. And I'm going to go write a report on what I think a sport is. So, yeah, TPD, I got to go, bud. Besides, it's late over there, and you got a house full anyway. Yo, how are you live? Who are we talking about, Trap? How you doing, and welcome to come in. I'm live every day, about 6:30 p.m. Florida time, Eastern time, United States. Oh, you're at work already. Right on. We'll drive that truck and don't do nothing silly. So I'm live every night, 6:30. You can come in, meet some new people. You can always go back and watch the stream even after it's over in a few minutes and I upload it. You can go back through the channel. You can read the chat and you can network with people. Ving Gabe, appreciate you stopping in, but I am ending this thing. It's been 2.5 hours and it's about that time. So I will be back on again tomorrow at 6:30. Find me on Twitter if you need me. Yes, Laura, I know it's 1:47 over there. Thankfully, it's only... All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and block Miss Ying Ving Gang or whatever. Just because I'm not playing with none of this. We're going to remove that. And I'll just go in and block them when I'm finished with this. You have to actually go to their... For anybody that wants to know, if you want to block somebody, all you have to do is pull up their profile, their page, and at the top right-hand side, there's a little red flag, and if you click that, it says block user. So I'll be going ahead and blocking Ving Gabe right away. But to the rest of you guys, have a good night. You know how to catch me on Twitter, and I'll see you soon.